Philippines, situated along the Typhoon Belt and the Pacific Ring of Fire, is exposed to numerous natural hazards, making it the third most disaster-prone country in the world. Being highly vulnerable to numerous natural calamities, resource assessment for planning and decision-making is crucial for the protection and conservation of these natural resources. The question is, how do we protect them? Resource assessment involves identifying these resources, their location, their status, and their characteristics. Detailed information about these resources are needed by the government agencies and local units for better planning and decision-making. The UP Training Center for Applied Geodesy and Photogrammetry, or UPTCAGP, together with 14 state universities and colleges and higher educational institutions, is currently undertaking a directed research program entitled Nationwide Detailed Resources Assessment Using LiDAR, or Phil-Lidar 2. This is funded by the Department of Science and Technology through its Grant in Aid or GIA program, monitored by the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, or FISHERD DOST. Phil-Lidar 2 aims to complement ongoing programs of government agencies by utilizing the groundbreaking light detection and ranging, or LiDAR data, develop methodologies for extracting resource features from LiDAR and other RS data, produce high-resolution national resource maps, produce vulnerability assessment maps for high-value crops and coastal resources, and formulate recommendations to help address future local supply and demand in agriculture, coastal, forest, and renewable resources. The first project component is the agricultural resources extraction from LiDAR surveys, also known as PARMAP. PARMAP aims to provide an updated and detailed inventory of the agricultural resources in the country. This deals with the development and application of methodologies for the extraction or mapping of agricultural crops and vulnerability assessment. The project utilizes datasets from LiDAR surveys, other remote sensing systems, and field measurements. The second project component is the aquatic resources extraction from LiDAR surveys, also known as COASTMAP. COASTMAP aims to develop procedures and workflows for extracting and characterizing coastal resources such as aquaculture, mangroves, corals, seagrass, and other aquatic resources from LiDAR surveys. This also involves vulnerability assessment of coastal resources. The third project component is the forest resources extraction from LiDAR surveys, also known as FREXLS. FREXLS aims to develop procedures and workflows for extracting and characterizing forest features, such as tree count, canopy height, canopy gap enclosure, biomass, and carbon stock from LiDAR data, and validate it with field measurements. The fourth project component is the development of the Philippine Hydrologic Dataset for watersheds from LiDAR surveys, also known as PHD. PHD aims to develop procedures and workflows using various geographic data models to generate different hydrologic datasets in watersheds. The last project component is the Philippine Renewable Energy Resource Mapping from LiDAR surveys, also known as REMAP. REMAP aims to assess the renewable energy resource potential of the country for biomass, hydro, solar, and wind, and to perform site suitability assessment for the development of these renewable energy resources. Each component aims to develop a detailed and comprehensive database of all the natural resources extracted that may be used in various applications, such as production of high-value crops, irrigation assessment, aquaculture production, forest protection, water resource monitoring, and discovery of renewable energy sources. The results and outputs of this study will be used by planners, managers, and decision-makers in the local government units and other target beneficiaries for use in applications, including but not limited to natural resource management, land use planning and development, and capacity and resilience building.